talking.
Uh-oh. You hear that?
Another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. Time to type to pull up at your house and read off your screen name and count. Make it come clean and even make it call your spouse. So won't you come on out and see what we're talking about? We got you on camera. But first, is anyone in the house? Look, we got your chat logs. We got you by the balls. And when the police pull up, we give them to the law. It's the big homie Tom from Colorado. He on the stroll. Pulling up on pairs from Colorado Pet Patrol. Royce K, so you know it gotta slap.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 4 of Behind the Catch. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. What's going on?
Fantastic.
All right. So tonight's episode is about one of the people who's probably the most asked about, Pred. Considering we caught him fairly recently. He wasn't like number one or anything like that, but we got him, and it's Stanley Harsha. And we're going to start the episode off a little bit differently because of who he is and some of the stuff that he said. So I'm going to go ahead and start the episode if everybody's ready.
Let's roll.
Let's go.
Human trafficking, in terms of corruption, in terms of wildlife trafficking, deforestation, gambling, prostitution, narcotics, all these areas is what you need the most is just strong law enforcement in these areas. So I would say that in terms of the military, that's separate, but I'm talking about the police because the police plays a main role. I think the military should not be playing a role in domestic issues, okay? In terms of the police, if the police would enforce the laws, then this country could be very, very strong in all those areas. The police is not enforcing this. Okay, so that's a big problem that this country has to get a handle on. The Anti-Corruption Commission in this country is very strong and is most responsible for hundreds of persons going to prison, serving hard time because of corruption. If there's
That's a pretty interesting start for the episode. I mean, here he is talking about, corruption and specifically talking about in the government. And he's a diplomat in our government. So obviously we caught this guy. He was trying to meet with a 13-year-old. And, how does he try to reconcile that? Any thoughts on that first clip?
I agree with him 100% with everything he said.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I think he's 100% correct. Yeah,
He needs to go talk to the police where he was arrested and tell them what he just said.
Absolutely agree. And I guess corruption is the same in Indonesia as it is here. Stanley Harsha was an absolute disaster when you look at the way that it was handled after the police arrested him. So we're gonna go through the catch like we usually do, and we're gonna go ahead and make some comments here, there, and everywhere. And I think it's going to be interesting to see some of the other clips that we have in here, just to see how he really feels about people like him.
Hey, Tom, let's go ahead and mention what we've got going on a little bit different this week, with our pause screens and what we've got coming up on stage here.
So the pause screens that we usually do just say CPP, Colorado, Behind the Catch. We're trying to highlight some of the missing children in Colorado. These are actual missing children off of the NCMEC site, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So we want to help get those pictures out there as much as possible. So don't forget to like and, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. All right. Ready, guys?
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Yes, so let's do it.
So I'm going to ask you again, what are we doing here?
I wasn't doing anything because she said I feel rejected, so I was going to take her to lunch and then just drop it from there.
Okay, well, I got a whole bunch of messages that say you were going to do a lot different, right?
Well, that was, but then I said, no way.
You said no way.
And I told her that.
You told her no way.
Yeah, I told her.
You didn't say you were going to lick her nipples and play between her legs.
I mean, like, so I don't even know who this person is.
Sure. Yeah.
And so you get all kinds of things, you know. Mostly it's all fake.
Okay.
It's all fake, right?
Yeah.
The stark contrast to me in that first clip, and I think it's evident throughout the entire catch, is this is a diplomat. So when you hear him talking, and all of a sudden he's got issues articulating his words, he all of a sudden can't find the words that he's looking for. He sounded like he was pretty spot on though during the actual interviews he was doing for television. You know, so Tommy had them all stumbling over his words, as Tommy does.
We haven't even stopped. We haven't even talked yet. I mean, it just started.
Yeah.
But like you just said, when they got a planned speech or they plan for it, it's easy to talk. But when you're a liar, it's easy to slip up, as you're hearing here. They're all liars, right? Like he went from, oh, I don't even know who this person is. He's clearly lying. And if you have anybody that studies behavior or anybody that doesn't, you're seeing it right here firsthand. He's stumbling, and we haven't even started yet. Like,
I completely agree. I mean, the guy is all of a sudden he can't figure out how to speak, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Tommy had him on his toes the whole time. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Not all of it though.
Yeah. And so I wasn't going to do this.
And you knew she was real. She sent you the pictures to prove she was real. And you even said, like, thank you for showing me that now that I know you're real, right?
Yeah, that was.
You're a smart man, right? Obviously, right? What do you do for a living?
I'm retired.
And what did you do? Don't say the exact job, but what did you do?
I'm retired.
Yeah. Did you work for the government?
I'm retired.
I know who you are, man. I know about your books. I know about everything. I've done my research.
Okay.
Again, fumbling for words, but more importantly, he doesn't want to say what he did. So he worked for the State Department. He was a diplomat in Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Timor-Leste. He was the chief of mission. He worked in Taiwan and Namibia. He had top secret clearance. You know, this is not a low-level guy. All right. He's a government official. He got caught out there. And I think that as you listen to the catch itself, in my mind, Tommy hammers him exactly the way he should be hammered. And the point that stuck out to me was, I mean, this is a guy who was writing books. He did all sorts of things, and he didn't want to really admit to anything. Everything that he starts off lying, and then he comes back around to the truth because Tommy drags him there, you know, kicking and screaming. Somebody had asked a question in the chat, when was this catch done? It was March 22nd of this year.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
No, let's let him dig.
Yep.
I love it.
This could really fuck you over. So and I'm not here for money. I'm not here to scam. I'm here to make sure this doesn't happen again. This has happened to my children.
Yeah.
What would your wife think about this?
No, I didn't want to do this.
Why'd you show up then?
Because she said, I feel rejected. And so I was thinking.
But you were the one that kept asking her to hang out. You actually broke up with her a week ago.
I did. And then she said, I really feel sad. I feel rejected.
Okay. Do you think?
And I'm the kind of person that makes me feel really bad.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe her parents should be the ones, you know, helping her out? And I mean, you said a lot. I want to go over these chat logs. You said a lot of dirty things to her, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it was just like a fantasy at the beginning.
Sure. Yeah.
I had no idea who this person.
Do you fantasize for 13-year-olds typically, or is this just this one?
I know.
You've never been in trouble for this before?
And she approached and
all that diplomatic training, and now all of a sudden he's looking like he's, you know, a cat on a hot tin roof. Can't stand still, can't figure out what he's doing. And Tommy, my hat's off to you on this one. You hammered this guy. it was amazing to see this catch because we didn't realize how big of a fish he was. It took all of about 5 minutes to find him from Osen's standpoint. And then as we were going through the page after page of his accomplishments in his life, I'm like, holy crap, we caught a big fish. And this was Jay Crandall's catch. Jay Crandall really did an outstanding job on the chat logs.
He did.
He really did. And I mean, this guy was all over Asia. You know, he travels all over Asia. Give me 1 second. There's a question there. I can't see it. Can somebody read that?
You can put it up. So
It was just a comment, and he said, why the hell is that a fantasy? Fucking scumbags.
Well, it's a fantasy for these weirdos, right? That's
Yeah.
just what it is. It's a fantasy. A lot of these people try to say, I would never do it. It's a fantasy. But it's only a fantasy for sick fucks like this guy.
And
then
a
I saw another
fantasy is
county-
just as bad.
It was somebody said what county it doesn't matter what county this was in. It doesn't matter. This guy should have been blasted in any county. This was in Westminster. But Westminster doesn't do anything, period, right now, as far as further than what we need them to do. So it just didn't matter. It's just God, this guy's-
And we can go into that a little bit. I mean, like when you look at,
I got
we
you,
can
Shay.
we can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
So we do everything from them reaching out to us and then go on through the whole catch. We hand all of the evidence over to the police after the interview. That's it. We can't be responsible for anything past that. We do try, as evidence from episode 1 and meeting with DAs, meeting with politicians, trying to get the laws changed. And it's very tough to do. It's not easy. And I mean, Tommy, what did you think about those meetings as far as like,
I mean, they were great, bro. They were great. And I want to answer this. I see a lot of questions. You guys asking the question is like, why aren't they doing nothing? Is like asking why, an orange tastes like orange juice when you squeeze it. We don't know. Unfortunately, we can't answer that. And I see a lot of those questions. We can't answer that. But what I can tell you is when we do have these meetings, as Tom's asking about, they're going good. As you've seen, we're getting results, i.e., Aurora showing up in 10, 15 minutes the first catch, 13 minutes, and 28 minutes or 30 minutes the third catch. We can do that, but we can't answer. It's just, and I see him. We can't answer why Westminster doesn't do their job. We can't, other than the fact that they're not going to do their job until they're forced to do their job. Now, once we have these meetings like Tom's talking about, then they're forced. There's got to be an answer because we have this meeting. We go in. It's us against the DA and their attorney and whatever. And probably the attorney at the end is like, listen, man, these guys aren't quitting. You have 13 cases on your desk, 30, 25, 40, however many they have. You have to answer to this. So again, we can't answer why they don't do that. Don't know why they don't do it. But once we get in talking to them, they do, and they have to. And I think the meetings went well. Long answer. I think they went very, very well. And we're seeing good response, right? Like everybody's.
Yeah, for the most part.
It's not perfect, but it's good, right? It's good. It's a start.
All right, so I'm going to put this one up here. Do you think there is an effective way to rehabilitate these monsters and prevent them from hurting future victims? No. My short answer is no. I mean, there is a cure.
Statistics would say no.
It's a permanent cure. And that's because of the way that social media works. That's about the best answer I can give you. There's one cure and it's very permanent. There's been tons of studies done. Nobody's ever been able to say, hey, you know what? There is a cure. Nobody. So, and Tommy,
we're not doctors here, right? We're not doctors. We're not therapists. I'm with you guys. I don't think there's a cure, but we don't know. The only cure I've known, the only one that's ever stopped anybody from reoffending, is I only know about 4 of them. I mean, you guys can go where you go with that, but we'll never catch them again, right? There's one cure, and it could be, I don't know, if anybody's like a bullet specialist, what does it cost? Don't know. but I think the only cure is the one cure. Thank you, Driz. Yeah, we don't know, right? But has anybody got facts or any proven documents that says somebody's been cured? Is there ever been is anybody in this room? If you can show me, I would like to learn about it.
I've read tons of studies, as you know, and I'm not going to bore people with statistics, but I'm telling you now, nobody's got a good answer to that question.
There's no successful story ever that you've heard of, ever?
No.
It's not going to happen, guys.
No, it's just, and I think, one of Tommy's famous lines is, if somebody told you tomorrow you can't love your wife, that doesn't mean you're going to stop loving your wife. What it means is, you can't change that mindset. There's no way to do it. So we can't change. Nobody can change, in my opinion, somebody's mindset. It's not a thing.
You're going to hide it from your friends because you're going to go to prison if you love your wife, right? You're going to go to prison, so you're not going to tell anybody. But in your mind, you're still going to love what you love. Somebody says tomorrow, hey, Tommy, you have to like guys. I've never liked guys in my life. It's just not my thing. I can't love guys tomorrow because, so you're not going to be able to change somebody's mind to liking something they're not into, right? Like, it's just not going to happen.
And I mean,
wrong,
the statistics that they have out there for all these different things, they're really, in my mind, a lot of them are uncorroborated because it all falls down to this. Ready? And here's the biggest statistic that everybody always points out. Somewhere, and depending on the study you're looking at, about 80% of these crimes go unreported. If they're unreported, how do you know 80% are unreported?
And how do you have accurate stats?
How is it not 95%? 98%? How do you not know? You can't measure a statistic that way. All right. Let's get back.
In other words, our stats are so skewed, you guys. No, you're right. I love that you brought that up. They're so skewed because if you know 80% are not turning, how did you know those 80% were turning? Like, no, that was just I love that because that's facts.
They're crazy stats, and once you look at those stats, that means that 8 out of 10 are unreported. So how are the other stats even accurate? All of your stats are now way skewed. So it's just my
they didn't tell. How do you know they told?
Right. All right, back to it.
It's a big problem, guys.
It is a big problem.
And so
She did what?
she reached out to me.
Did she?
Yeah.
That's not true. You sent the first message. You guys both liked each other, so it was a common like, right? Wasn't it Tinder?
Yeah.
So she didn't reach out to you first. I have all the messages, and you reached out to her first, in fact.
No, we like each other. And
Yeah.
And then she reached out to me.
You reached out first. Just so you know, the group can't reach out first. I promise you that.
Okay.
Bottom line, you didn't know she was 13 at the time, so that's
Yeah, I didn't know.
right. But she told you she was 13, and you didn't care.
Well, I wasn't sure that she was 13.
Well, when she proved it to you, you were sure.
But
You
she looked-
said,
I mean, the thing is that I wasn't going to do anything.
so all this stuff you said that you were going to do?
No, yeah, but the proof is that for the last week or 2 weeks, I said I don't want to see you. I'm going to get together. I'm not going to do anything.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you did say you would wait 5 years, right?
Oh wow,
Dude, I think at some point there, you almost felt bad for him because you threw him a lifeline.
Yeah, I tried
And
to.
He clung on to it. But all those pauses, all those times where he's sitting there scrambling for words, it's all a ploy for him to be able to think of his next lie. And he starts off almost every one of these segments with a lie. So to me, that's just crazy.
Sounds like a lifetime politician.
Tommy, have you ever actually
Yes.
believed a dude and didn't think he was truly a pedo or anything?
I mean, I might have. So that's a good question. During, maybe, but the finish, I've never thought anybody was innocent. No. But I mean, I might have been smoozled a little bit during, but no, never did I end up leaving thinking they were innocent. Never. grooming that kid, wait 5 years. Yeah, that's what they do,
Is it-
you guys. They do.
He was an expert groomer. He groomed Crandall's decoy like no other. Expert groomer.
Like one would say, a diplomat. You know, like,
Like
a true
one would say, a
politician.
diplomat.
True
I mean,
politician.
I agree.
Mhm. Absolutely.
This guy. So somebody put a question up there. Or there was a comment made. You know, this guy's poor wife. I am very sure, because I know what happened, that his wife found out about this. And I'm 100% sure. That's not one of those 80-20 stats. It's 100%. In looking at this episode, we did some more research, and him and his wife are right now traveling in Indonesia. So she's still with him. I don't
Where's
feel
she
bad.
from? She's not from the U.S., yeah?
I believe she was Malaysian, but I could be wrong on that.
That's what I was going to say. I just wanted to make sure. So,
And it's just, yeah. So somebody put in here, and she claims it was a deep fake. It's not a deep fake. You know what? We catch people, they're getting convicted on a regular basis now. Not as regular as we'd like, but they are getting convicted often. And this guy, he walked.
Yeah.
He walked. And we don't know why, but we want to make sure that his name goes out there again, you know?
We have a pretty good idea why he walked.
well, I have a
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah, we absolutely
scenarios.
know why he walked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's probably still walking around collecting a government pension
Hmm.
from us, the taxpayers,
Yep.
writing books that have chapters in them about sex trafficking.
Oh, well, about not only, what was it? Not only wasn't it aggressive, or like there was something disturbing. I forget exactly what it was, but it was sex trafficking, but like worse than sex trafficking. This dude's a piece of shit.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. All right.
And honestly, you guys, if we caught him, I wish we would have caught him in another county. Unfortunately, we don't transfer people to different counties, but I wish we would have to see, because Westminster doesn't only not catch him. I don't know what they would have done. I would like to see him in a county that did something to see what would happen. But we even contacted the news that was like, they didn't want nothing to do with this. And I get why, because if it's not being prosecuted, they don't want to throw, their self out there, but they'll do it for somebody else. But
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they didn't want the smoke that they could have gotten because of this. And
Yeah.
that's the reality.
dangerous.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Were you in love with her? The person you thought she was? Were you in love with her?
I got to
Thought about it.
I got to feel fond for her, like for her, because she paid attention.
Yeah.
That's all.
Do you have an open relationship with your wife? So it's bad anyway, right? And I don't know your wife, right? I know her name. You're pretty easy to find if you Google your name. You know that, right? You're a pretty important person, but have you taken advantage of younger before, like in China and all that?
No, never.
No. What if it was not against the law to have sex with 13-year-olds? Would you do it? No.
Fucking liar.
You told her not to tell anybody. You could get in a lot of trouble. So you obviously thought she was real. I just like accountability,
Yeah, but
man.
then I said, and you can see the documentation. I said, no, there's no way.
And yesterday you told her, so you broke up with her a week ago, and then you're like, okay, we'll hang out. Tell me one thing. You're not a cop, right? And she says, I'm not a cop. And you said, okay, are you okay with me touching you? So you just said that. You said between her legs. You said you weren't going to have sex with her.
No, that was a long time ago.
So
The documentation is
Yesterday.
that for like at least a week now, I said
For at least a
we
week.
get together to be nothing.
do you think it's okay to get together with other people's 13-year-olds?
No, and I was really,
Debating it.
I wanted to walk away from it.
Why didn't you? You broke up with her. It could have been over. You could have blocked her.
Because I feel rejected. And
Well-
and so I was thinking, okay, what's going on? So
Fucking loser, dude. What a
Every single statement that he just said was absolute bullshit.
yeah.
Every
Talking
single
about
statement.
touching between her legs the day before,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
doesn't matter. The whole intention was sex. But
Well, last week I said that I'm not going to do anything, and he's going to cling to that.
An
But
epiphany in a week.
yesterday he said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and let me touch between your legs." Yeah, everything that he said was absolute horseshit. And in the beginning of that part, he was just stuttering. He doesn't know what to say. And if you listen to him, he's a very eloquent speaker.
He is.
When he's on YouTube talking about Indonesia, all of a sudden, Tommy got him all tongue-tied.
But he still, you could tell he takes a breath before he says something. Like, even as flustered as he was, he did better than most people would. Like, he knows scumbag has fooled a lot of people. He's fooled a lot of people. And you can even see when you ask him, were you in love with her? No, I wasn't. Like, but
He
you can hear him.
definitely
It's that-
was.
He was. And you can see it where, like, no, but I was intrigued.
No.
Whatever he said, not intrigued. But, he's
He
a
had
sick
a
fuck, you guys. Sick
He had a
fuck.
full-blown serious relationship with this child. I've read hundreds of chat logs, and you can tell the ones who just want to bang. They are short and sweet to the point. I think Crandall talked to him for a few months,
I think it was 3.
and it was a full-blown, this guy was in
He
love
was in love.
every morning, every night. Like, it was bad. He was in love.
Yeah, he was.
Right, so-
He was.
Anthony Silvestri from YouTube asked, "Is it because there wasn't a real minor is why some of these guys get away?"
No, they get away
No.
with real minors, guys. Real minors. They get away every day. Every
And
fucking day. It's not real cops. That's the
it's
sad
crazy.
part.
It's crazy. But no, that is not the reason why.
No.
No, and to speak on what Anthony was asking there, like Colorado has it to where if it is a real child, you get a slap on the wrist. If it's a second time, then you get locked up, which is completely ridiculous. It doesn't matter if it's a real child or a fake child. The first time, the second time, you need to be locked up regardless if you're trying to go after a child.
Yeah, there shouldn't be such a thing as a deferred sentence for any of these guys.
Correct.
All right, so
that question: do you believe the predators true, or do you think the predators truly believe if they delete everything and deny everything, it won't happen to them? We don't know. Again, that's like something we'd be really guessing on, right? Like, we'd be guessing. I don't know what they think. But they always erase their messages and try to delete it. I assume yes. But again, it's one of those things, you guys, where we could sit here and guess and tell you these things, but like, we don't know. We don't know.
all right, ready?
Yes.
13-year-olds feel this way. What do you have in common? What were you going to do? Were you going to save her? Where were you guys going to go today?
We're gonna go have lunch
Where at?
at a restaurant.
Okay. The one you made a reservation for, right? So do you know if you get her in your car, that's kidnapping because she can't consent. 13-year-olds can't consent. You understand that, right?
Okay, I didn't know it.
And I want to go over these chat logs just because, dude, the whole time, and okay, maybe this last week you tried to correct it, but you can't go into the bank and tell them you're going to rob them and then say, I'm just kidding, right? Like, you said you were going to touch her between her legs. You knew it was wrong, right? I mean, what would your wife think about this?
Yeah, it was just
Stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm more concerned, I mean, you've been in Taiwan and all these places where it's not as, not as frowned upon.
yeah.
Have you done this before?
No.
You never been with a person under the age of 17 since you were an adult?
Fucking liar. Fucking
Exactly.
liar.
Exactly.
He's thinking how many times, dude? That is not him, dude. Fuck. I didn't catch that till now.
Yeah, dude. Did you see how long that pause was?
I did maybe 3 seconds now. I did not see that. That's the first time I've seen it.
So he's sitting there trying to figure out what to say there to get himself out of shit.
He doesn't know what we have, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he has no idea. He has no idea.
Wow, I didn't catch that, dude. I didn't catch
Dude,
that.
it's crazy. When you watch these back and you look at these from, like, we may see them a little bit differently. And I think I've said it in the past. There are certain things that we laugh at, and it's really not a laughing matter. But we kind of have to because it's for our own sanity. But this guy is just an absolute disaster. And
Yeah, make no mistake, he was not a diplomat to the countries that he was by chance.
No.
The dude's a sexual deviant, and he went to the places where it may not be legal, but it is very common, and that's why he was there.
100%. 100%.
yeah, and I mean, I'd love to see from the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you think that he's touched other children.
I
And
mean,
David from YouTube, what's his
my
name?
one's there.
It's Stanley Harsha.
My one is there. I think he's hurt many,
100%.
many.
Yeah,
I don't think
there's
there's anybody
nobody in their right mind that thinks that this guy traveled all over Asia and wasn't with children. One of his duties was for education. It's just absolutely insane that this is what we're sending to other countries, because there's no doubt in my mind that he hurt kids there too. And I think it's in both places.
Yeah, everywhere this man's been.
And he's still
And
doing
it
it.
sucks. We need the right traction because this man he's on vacation with his wife right now. It's pretty sad
Traveling all over Indonesia.
because
All
the
right.
zip code he was caught in.
Yep.
No. Okay. Well, you're allowed to when you're kids, right? So if people knew, there's not one person out there that would accuse you of doing something harmful to them.
No.
So you just woke up after your whole life, 3 months ago, and decided, I'll entertain a 13-year-old.
It was just a really weird thing.
Yeah. But normal people don't typically just do weird things like that, right?
It was yeah, but I wasn't gonna ever touch her.
But you showed up. That's where it's all attempt. I mean, we have convictions, we have all this. It's all attempt. I more so just want to get your thoughts on this. Do you think you did anything wrong?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think should happen to somebody doing what you're doing to our kids?
I wasn't gonna do anything to anybody.
I'm telling you, if I had a 13-year-old daughter and you were coming to hang out with my daughter, I'd be pretty pissed.
Oddly enough, his stance changed from his other
Sure
YouTube
did.
video. There's no harsh sentencing. There's no serious jail time. He didn't mention that at all when he was talking to Tommy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking if he was brought up on charges yet. No. As you'll see later in the video, he was arrested, but more than likely he was brought in for questioning. I think that the video, as it plays on, you'll understand that part of it. He was never brought to court. He was never charged. And it's crazy because he should be held not only to the same standards as everybody else, but in my opinion, he should be held to a higher standard. You know, he's a diplomat. But
And I pinned it a second ago. Not only is he a retired diplomat, but he also still works in Colorado on the board for the Jefferson County Library. He's still active in the local community.
Tells me we weren't loud enough, y'all. He was booked and released pending charges, never got charges, and it's crazy.
We can get louder.
Fucking yeah, we need to get louder. That's what this is for, and we need to
Yep.
get louder. There's no
Exposure is
off-limits.
key.
Absolutely.
okay.
Power of money. Yeah. A little bit.
What would
a
your
little
kids
bit.
think
It's
about
not all
this?
that.
What would you think if somebody was doing this to your 13-year-old? Even the ones that weren't going to have sex. You're here to pick her up, taking her on a date. You said you were going to give her lunch and then touch her later.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I
You said, when you said you wanted to hang out, you said, first we'll hang out romantically, and then I'll touch you, kiss your nipples, kiss your breast between your legs.
No, I know that was like 2 weeks ago.
I know. I'm just saying, you said it. You said it to a 13-year-old. That's what I'm trying to say.
So which is it? No, I did not. Or is it, oh, I said that 2 weeks ago.
Because I would never say it if he didn't say
Yeah.
it. Fucking
Yeah.
At that point, it was just,
But that was 2 weeks ago.
this was just like some, who knows?
You're a smart man. Why'd you chance
Yeah,
it?
but these things are all fake.
Have you met with a fake one before?
No, because they're all fake.
But so you didn't believe this one was fake if you showed up, you drove your hour drive to get here, which is not too far. I get that. You set up reservations.
These
So
things are all fake. These things are all fake on the social
you
media.
think that's going to fly? You really think that's going to fly? There's no accountability with you at all, right?
I don't know. I might have just walked away today. I don't know.
I wish you would have.
I might have just walked away today, but that's only because Tommy showed up and not a 13-year-old girl.
Well, and he kept stressing the fact that these things are all fake. These things are all fake. So how many times have you attempted this? Like,
He
to
said
me,
none.
that shows that this
He
is
said none.
absolutely right. Yeah, never. This is the first time, right?
They're all fake.
Yeah, these things are all fake. They're all fake. So that shows right there that he has absolutely 100% done this before. It's sickening, but he's never done it.
Right. So Anderson made a statement, chat logs don't lie. You showed up, final point.
That's
And
it.
that is the final point. You know what? He showed up to meet a 13-year-old child. Whether he thought that child, I'm telling you, after reading the chat logs, and I'm sure you guys are getting it from the video, he meant it. He meant to show up to meet a 13-year-old. He didn't think that was fake.
He wasn't scared. He got out of the car, went inside to get her a soda.
Yep.
He didn't think it was fake.
He thought he was invincible. That's what he thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been invincible. And you guys, I wouldn't even blame the wife on this one. This is a scary thing. We don't know, so we shouldn't assume. But I would think that the wife is probably, I'm just speculating like a lot of us are doing, it's probably from a place where she didn't have this kind of life. And I do believe she has this kind of life because this guy, we don't know what she really knows, or what she's used to or where she's actually from and the laws. I don't think the wife knows that he's out, searching children. Maybe she does, but we don't know, right? We don't know. She could be a partial victim in this too. We just don't know.
Or she may be used to this lifestyle because that's
Or
where
that was my main point. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
She's used to this. She came from a podunk place and she's got, she's traveling, money, and she's a yes sir woman, right?
Yep.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. We don't know. But I do agree that was my point.
All right.
I wish you wouldn't have shown up. This wouldn't even happen. I don't want to meet you this way.
I didn't even want to, that was really clever, that thing, because I just wanted to drive away, actually.
You did? Where at?
What?
Right now you wanted to drive away?
I wanted to drive away even a few minutes
You went to you went to King Soopers, which was the wrong place. Then you went to 7-Eleven, which was the wrong place.
Yeah.
You had so many opportunities. What made you keep coming?
Okay,
What made you keep coming?
like I said, because
Thinking.
she said she felt rejected, and I didn't want her to feel that way.
So you would chance your whole life, like everything you've worked hard on, right? Like, and again, I'm not here to do that.
I know, I didn't think of it that way. I was just thinking that I was just going to be nice.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
I do. It's crazy. He went to 3 different places, you guys. He could have bailed out. This guy was never bailing out. Not only that, he drove from the mountains, which is about an hour, but he had to come down some roads with some stop signs, right? He had to stop and he had to turn left at a light. It was a red light. Had to drive on a highway. He had to do all these things, but he didn't want to do it, right? He didn't want to do it. But this girl told him that she felt rejected. I would love to see in the chats where she begged him to come. It's not how CPP operates, y'all. This guy he's good at bullshitting, just not good at bullshitting in a community like this, right? Just not at all.
No.
No.
All right. Let's roll.
Yeah, I love it.
What about your wife, man? Like, don't you feel bad for her?
Oh, yeah.
Is she in Virginia or is she here?
She's in California.
California. So when she's away, you go out and play, or what? You're obviously looking for dates and maybe adults, right?
I don't. It's just the whole thing with Tinder. It's just a fantasy thing.
Okay.
Really.
Does it really turn you on that you're talking to little girls?
No, and I don't. This is just really.
Well, you said a bunch of times that you were hard, and she should touch you where
This is so weird.
out of the norm.
This is so out.
It's
so weird.
I want to believe that.
I don't think it would have ever happened if someone wasn't trying to trap me.
So how did she try to trap you? Did she ever talk sexual once?
Yeah.
She did. I promise you. I have every message.
Okay. Well,
You were the one that wanted to talk sexual, and maybe it was just a fantasy. And I get it. I don't get the young part, but I get fantasies everybody's having. But you showed up, man. That's where the fantasy goes out the window. Do you agree?
so you're welcome to come to my house.
I don't want to go to your house. I want to be done with this. I want to make sure this doesn't happen again. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything more than this, man. As long as you're just going to be, I mean, a little more accountable than you're being right now. You're lying.
I don't know what else to be accountable, because when I'm saying that I was not going to do anything with her,
How'd she?
He invited you to his house, man. You know, like you
I
could
don't
sit
remember
down.
that.
Yeah, have a beer and a cigar. You know, just sit out on the deck,
Ugh.
overlooking the mountains, and talk about 13-year-olds. You know,
Unreal.
absolutely wild.
He probably had good cigars, I'm sure, that he got from overseas, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
I don't remember that, dude. I'm catching a couple of things tonight. I didn't remember him saying.
there's a lot of things that this guy said and did, and his mannerisms, and
Mm-hmm.
having to edit this video and watch it, I was like, holy crap, I cannot believe that this is how this is working out. You know, this guy, he just sits there and lies and lies and lies. And
So
it's
nonchalant.
yeah, but if once you watch his other videos, you can see that it's a total departure from the way he normally is.
Absolutely.
You're right, Cleve. You're right. I
It's
wouldn't have
crazy.
gone to his house. No way. No way. No way.
All
This
right.
is the type of guy who would be like, I give you, 500,000 to forget about this.
Walk
He's
away.
the type of- yeah.
Yep. I mean, and this guy,
He-
he was very well off, and he was very well connected in the government.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying those two inherently are bad, but if you want to look at why he wasn't charged, I would bet both of those play into it.
Mm-hmm.
100%. That's why I wish it was
100%.
another place to see. But yes, absolutely. That's why the news didn't want to touch it. They wanted to touch it. Trust me, they wanted to touch it.
All right.
So, yeah.
Gross. Smells right. It's disgusting.
It's happened. It has happened.
I feel pretty devastated.
Yeah. Okay. So
I feel a little
do you think we could tell your wife what you're out here doing? Maybe she could make sure that some stupid shit like this doesn't happen again.
I appreciate if you would.
I'm not going to tell her. That would be on you to tell her. But don't you think she deserves to know? I'm gonna try not to get that building in there. No, you're fine. I'm trying not to get the building in there. As people walk out, I don't try to get their faces. You've had a lot of what scares me is how many have you already done in all these countries you were in that it's not against the law. You might think it's not a problem. I don't think that you see how. Never.
I draw the line now.
Where do you draw the line?
I draw the line. I've never been.
You want.
So yes, he did have family making comments all over social media that this was a deep fake. That we chose him, some random diplomat from Indonesia, and we didn't go with any bigger names. This is the guy that we chose that nobody's ever really heard of unless you're really into Indonesia. That's the guy that we chose.
We failed finding the big wig.
Yeah.
As a
Crazy.
decoy, I can strongly say we don't choose the predators; they choose us. Like,
That's really true.
we don't pick.
We don't make them. We
No.
don't make them.
So this guy, and they're asking the question again. He worked with the State Department as a diplomat in Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Timor-Leste, Taiwan, and Namibia. He had all sorts of relationships with Chinese cultural and educational leaders. This is right off of his LinkedIn.
Yeah, I believe
Just-
29 years with the State Department, if I'm not mistaken.
27 years.
He is a big
27,
wig,
okay.
y'all.
If you go to Google and
We
type
wouldn't-
his name in, there's going to be a ton of information.
He even calls himself a persuasive writer and public speaker experienced at grant management. So he's touting the fact that he's a good public speaker, but he didn't sound like it that day. That's for sure. All right.
You wanted to call her. You wanted to see her on video because you wanted to prove You wanted proof. You asked her several times if she's a cop, right? Let me get to your between your legs. But then you said, I'm not going to have sex with you. You are too young and it's wrong. But you said you would eat her out, play between her legs. She would stroke you where you're hard, pet it like a dog.
At that point, it was just like some Tinder fantasy. I don't even know if this person is real or not.
But then you drove up and you're here.
Yeah, but not for the last week or two. When I came convinced that she was real.
Do you know what internet luring is? Do you know what that is? Internet luring is meeting with somebody you thought was 13 or underage and showing up. It's a class 4 felony. Internet luring, right? Sexual exploitation of a child is talking sexual to a child and then showing up. You could be like, I got a big dick. You want to meet and have lunch? We're not having sex. That's sexual exploitation. I'm just telling you, have you ever been arrested before?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's never been arrested before. That's the only one that he answered pretty quick.
He was honest about that one.
Yeah, I think he
First
nailed
truth
that
of the
one
night.
down. Yeah, I think that the more you watch this, the more you realize that there's definitely real children that were hurt by this man.
And still are being hurt. You can't
I
convince
agree.
me otherwise.
I agree. Why? Because we let him get away with it.
Not we.
We
Not
didn't.
I was gonna say we didn't let him
We
get
didn't.
away with it.
I know what you're
The
saying,
justice
Tom, but I
system.
wanna
We did
make
our
Chad
job.
understand.
Yeah.
We as a
We're going to
society.
continue, you guys. We are
And we're gonna get
exposing them
loud.
second time for a reason, right? We don't stop. And we might
Yeah.
expose them again and again and again. And when you guys see a channel that pops up that says CPP throwbacks, we don't do it for the views, y'all. We don't even get no money off that shit. I don't. It's garbage money. But you know what? It might be one person in this chat that says, son of a bitch, I know that guy. He was near my child. Ask your child, right? Like one person saved is worth it to everybody on this panel. I guarantee you. It has nothing to do with the
Absolutely.
money. So we could have just let
100,
this
yep.
go, but we feel this needs to be brought up and we need to get loud. If you know anything, this guy,
Mhm.
like every predator, needs to be exposed to the max. Fuck the drama, fuck all the bullshit. This is a scumbag, as you're seeing right now.
All right.
You didn't know that you didn't think you were committing crimes?
I didn't think taking her to lunch would be a
If when your kids were 13, if a man took them to lunch, what would you do? Honestly, be real honest with me. You'd probably call the police, right? Or maybe you're the type of guy that's like, I'd kill him or beat him up or whatever. I don't know. A lot of people say that, right? This happened to my child, man. I do this because this happened to my child. Well, you don't have to be sorry to me. I just want to make sure it doesn't happen again. I mean, even a secret with you, if you wouldn't have showed up today, I still think you were a dirty old grandpa kind of doing this thing. Do you have grandkids?
Grandpa.
I don't want to know their names or details or nothing. Are you dangerous around them? Just ask it. It's just a question.
No, please stop this.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm not law enforcement or nothing, but I mean, I think me stop this. I would have never, I don't want to meet you this way.
They caught him in that scenario.
Driz, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, a lot of catches have done things to me, but I wouldn't say there's one in particular. When I find one, I forget because another one comes up. But watching this one, yeah, this one fucks with me, right? Like, so I wouldn't say there's a catch until I find one and then another one comes up and I forget. They're all that way, and I know it's cliche to say, but I can't think one off the top of the head. This one right now pisses me off because we're watching it.
Yeah. And because he's just there is no accountability.
No.
You know,
He's got a
and
trained speech, and it pisses me off.
it's all political speak just so that he can get out of the situation that he's in and walk away without, in his mind, going into jail. And that's all it is.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to go back, I seen a question earlier. Clee asked, "Is the public exposure, does it help to deter these guys or not?" And I think it absolutely does. I think the exposure is a good deterrent because their family finds out, their friends find out, people around them find out, and then they start getting pressure. So is it as good as them going to prison? Probably not. Does it really help? I think it does.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what Judd said, the other thing, and it's in episode 1 too, but we did talk to that detective or the sergeant, and the sergeant was like, "You're just doing this for clicks." No, we're doing this for exposure. The exposure is important because it lets the community know that they have this kind of monster in their presence. It lets the community, be aware, and it increases safety for the community by showing these faces. It also, and I would say probably close to 24 cases where real victims have come forward because of the exposure.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's retired, y'all. He's retired. He does some volunteer work at a library for Jefferson County, but he's retired. He's been retired for years. So
He's on the board of
he's
the
on the
Jefferson-
board for the library. in
Yeah,
Jefferson
yeah.
County, So, but he's retired as far as like doing what he does. Makes no difference. But we need to get the name out there. You guys take his name, do what you do on your own Facebook. Like, don't ever do anything illegal, but you can spread this news. Get loud. It's okay. He's a problem. This guy's a problem. The only one that comes back on is me. We improve. You're watching it, but that's why we're doing this. We're not doing this because we thought this was going to be a super clickable video or whatever. We want to show him because we don't feel he got enough justice. He didn't get none. Zero. Nada. I mean, for us, he got arrested. He got in cuffs. I got to smile at him for 5 seconds. Not enough. Not enough for these people like Bentley that's on your screen right now, right? Let's do it for them.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got that smug attitude of a
does.
politician that says, "Hey, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to get caught. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm going to get away with this." And clearly, he did. Like, so if law enforcement's not going to hold him accountable, then we need to expose him and bring some
Absolutely.
justice to any victim that he has or could possibly have.
Yeah,
I
and
am-
just to let everybody know here in our chat, his Facebook is still up, and he changed the name to Stash Peepers, which is very weird
Yes.
in and of itself. Stash
Whoa.
Peepers.
Yep.
Can
And
can we link that or no? Does somebody have it or no? It's okay if we can't.
yeah, I can't right now, but I mean, we can.
We'll get
put
that
it-
up for you guys. We'll get it in the comments later. Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, he's working on a board at a public library. I would just hope that he doesn't have access to kids.
I
You
mean,
know.
a public library, you would. Why does
Dude,
he
and
feel like he's
I will
always
say
in a barrel? Like shooting. You know what I mean? Like fishing
The
from
board-
a barrel.
the board was notified of this. So now you have to look at the rest of that board and wonder what's going on in their minds that they're going to let somebody who, even with this accusation, work in a position where there's kids. So, but they were notified.
That's just disgusting. Fucking disgusting.
I'm going to type in the name that he used.
Okay. Tell him Tommy says hi.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Tom,
Absolutely.
I'll send you a link to one of his posts, and if you can drop it in the chat, that'd be good.
I think I can. All
Yo,
right.
we would never tell anybody to do anything illegal, nor would we want you to. But you're allowed to speak your mind. Be
Yeah.
respectful and care about the kids. If it's about the kids, do what you do. But be respectful and just keep it,
Yeah, we're gonna probably actually. He wrote a book too. The book.
Ugh.
I'll see if I can get the link in there for that too, because the reviews are actually pretty on point. Since the catch, I think the previous reviews were all his friends, so they weren't quite as friendly after the catch. All right.
Not
even mad at
surprised.
Yeah. You know, it
And
has-
after the catch, all the reviews that were left were probably from people that didn't even read his book. We're just leaving reviews.
yeah, his book is on Amazon, and I think it sold 12 copies. All right.
Oh, total?
Yeah, dude, it's horrible.
Oh,
It's
big
horrible.
wig. Big wig.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll see if I can pull the book up while we're watching this next segment.
Told her you wish you could sneak away for 2 days. You would take her to Mexico. That scares me a little bit.
At that point, it was just, I don't know anything. This is just like, okay, really.
But you think it was her fault? She trapped you? You think?
I mean, at that point, right? Because there's the conversations that you have with people that you meet on Tinder. Okay, it's like,
I get that.
I mean, it's just like they're all just like fake. They're all fake persons. Okay.
But
as far as I know, they're all fake persons.
But you don't show up. You said you don't show up to the fake ones. But you showed up today.
Because they're all fake.
And I get it. But you showed up today, so there must have been something that you believed she was real, right?
There was there was just that she was nice.
She was nice to you.
She was nice.
Wow.
I often show up to places for fake things.
While married. Fucking scumbag.
But these are never real. These are never real, right? That's what he said to begin with.
But it's his first one.
They're fake.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah, I'm stunned for words. I really am. Believe it or not.
I'm honestly surprised his excuses weren't better with just his education level and just stuck with, like, we've seen meth heads with better excuses, like on Pred Bingo. And his just, oh, she's fake. It's a fantasy. Oh, it's fake. It's a fantasy. I'm honestly surprised he didn't go the I was going to help her out route, you know?
All right.
We have evidence on every case we've ever done.
What if
Weird questions.
It's true.
Yeah, we save all of our evidence, Child of the King. So yes, if someone were to reach out, we have it.
We have everything. But thank you. But yes, we have all of it, from every bit of it. It never goes away. But thank you.
What if another 13-year-old's going to be nice to you? Then what do we do?
I won't do this again.
I hope not, man.
I won't.
I hope not.
I won't.
It's stupid, right?
It's stupid. I promise. I'm devastated.
And you don't think your wife deserves to know? You really don't think she deserves to know? And you won't call her so we have some kind of, like, you know, some that you, because you're going to tell her later, oh, it didn't really happen. It's not, you know, I really didn't do it, right?
What, are you going to call her?
I'm not going to call her. I just think if you would call her would be a good thing.
Is the police going to arrest me now?
No, they're not here for us. Where's the police? Not for us, so we don't have to tell them nothing. You probably would be arrested if I would have called.
This was awesome.
I have no idea. Okay. Yeah, you're free to do what you want.
This is my favorite part.
You thought he was going to outrun.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Wait.
I can trick him if they don't. If they don't.
He's going around. I don't.
Run, he's just not here.
He was getting nervous. Whew.
Mhm.
How you doing, sir? Year
I
old for
love
what?
their faces. I love it when they're nervous. I fucking love when they're just crumbling, dude. It's a fucking addiction for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I thought it was amazing when he was trying to outrun the police cruiser. You know, it always works out well. Always.
Yeah, you guys, this is not about what me and the cops had. That's not what this is about.
Not
I
at
forgot
all.
about that, honestly. I forgot, but no, it's about this scumbag. That's what it's about.
The name of the book is in the chat. Feel free to look it up. I think it's only on Amazon.
Like the moon and the sun, Indonesia, in the words of the man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was great that he tried to run away. It's fantastic.
Would have made it better if the cops.
Am I going to be
hadn't hit him.
arrested? They're not here for you. Well, I'm going to get the hell out of here.
If he would have just resisted, that would have been the best.
Oh, dude. It would have been.
Yeah, it would have.
It would have been bad, guys. guys.
It would have. This police interaction was cut drastically down. The argument that happened
Has
was
nothing.
pretty much removed. You will hear Tommy reference it a little bit, but I mean,
I'm just gonna respond to Sassy Pants because I've seen her mention this a few times. So each individual episode is a little bit different. If you've been watching from the start, there's a ton of behind the scenes stuff that we are putting out in here. It's not just always a reaction panel.
and nowhere, like, we didn't talk about his wife at all. We didn't talk about, his book really during the catch. We didn't have the clips of him on YouTube. So, I mean, this is more behind the scenes. And we have been talking with, we have been doing some reaction because we're human and that's what we do.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think we made it pretty clear when we announced this. This wasn't gonna just be a behind the scenes look at everything. Like, this is more or less just a platform where we can kind of post whatever we think you guys might like to see.
And
that's
again,
what
you
we've been
guys,
doing.
behind the scenes is like the main goal. But you got to understand too, we just planned this 6 weeks ago. This is episode I think 4. So we don't have a whole lot of behind the scenes because we didn't get the chance to get it. We are going to get what we get, but again, we want to do it once a week, right? So we're going to bring. It's going to be a lot of different things. You're going to have behind the scenes. You're going to have a little bit with like tell your story. We're going to have people come up and talk. We will give it to you, but we're more so trying to. The whole point is to show you what's going on like this. This is a perfect example of exposing the guy that really needs to be out there. Behind the scenes or not, behind the scenes, he wasn't arrested and charged. He was arrested, not charged, right? So everything we're going to do is going to be it's going to be important for the cause. But we do want to show you behind the scenes stuff and a lot more of it.
Guys, don't beat up on Sassy for
wait.
asking a question.
Tom,
It's
that's
an
a
alt.
sassy alt. That's an
Yeah.
alt. Can we get rid of that?
Yeah, I can get rid of that.
Yeah,
But
I
even
just
if it
looked
was,
at it.
I don't
It's
care
not
what it
real
was.
sassy.
Even that all is not terrible. Like, we can answer that. Like, it is what it is. Sassy's great people.
Oh yeah,
We all like Sassy.
but they
that
don't
would
need
be-
to be
that's-
pretending to be her and
No, I
causing
get that. No,
drama.
kick him out.
Yeah.
But that's a fair question. Even though
Oh,
it's
yeah,
wrong.
absolutely,
Dumbass.
absolutely.
Get rid of him. Super fair question because we did say that, but you're going to get it all, you guys. You're going to get all of it. It's going to be behind the scenes of what we're doing and trying to make the world a better place. So, but it was a fair question from a dumbass alt that is no longer here. So,
Yep,
deuces.
all good.
Deuces.
All good. Hold on one second. Here we go.
Poor Sassy. She's like,
But he says to get between her legs and have sex. Gets cold feet. They've been talking for 2 months. Gets cold feet like a week ago, breaks up with her, comes back, and then today he's like, we're just going to meet and go to lunch. But in this book, you're going to find where he's talking about going between her legs. If you're a cop, I can go to jail.
Yeah.
Please don't tell anybody, blah, blah, blah. So this guy is a 30 years diplomatic, like he's done it all, clearance and shit. He's not a stupid dude. But 100%, like going through this book,
Yeah.
you can go through as slow as you want, or I can just kind of show you.
When was the last message?
Like he said, I'm here like 5 minutes ago. Well,
Right.
5 minutes before you guys got here.
Yeah, and what was leading up to that? Can I just see the most recent?
Yeah, absolutely. So the red is where he said something I feel is interesting for you guys. But there's a lot of it. But he's like, I really want to touch and kiss your breast. That would be hot. I could. Is that too much? Do I make you wet? Oh wow. Could I touch you there gently? Delete this so nobody sees it. Like it's all sexual, man. Go to the next one. Here's asking, can we meet? Says it a whole bunch of times, but
I did know, yes.
and this is your book, by the way.
So we can have a copy of this.
Yeah, and then we'll send it in the link as well. But we were instructed to do both. So, and then I got a video as well of me and him and our whole interaction, where he said he was just going to take her to lunch. Of course, I want to kiss you and touch you. Can we meet in March when I get back? That's today. For that he was talking about today. I'd love to kiss your ears, touch your chest, touch me where I'm hard for you. I'm going to kiss deeply, our tongues playing with each other, touch you. Imagine what your whole body looks like, and it just keeps going.
Thanks, guys.
You're good.
Yeah, guys. So when I was editing it, I left it in there because I feel like you needed to hear all that stuff back to back to back to back to back, because that's kind of what his chat logs read like. I mean, was he the worst person ever? No, but he was a top level groomer.
He was.
And it's bad. It's really bad. So to me, like, I think they're probably some of the worst that we ever get is the top level groomers. And some of them you guys don't even realize, like, you know, we do have some decoys that talk a little bit more. We have some decoys that talk a little bit less. And you know, I'm not going to get into too much on that, but we had a case that was, I want to say it was like 800 pages, Tommy.
Yeah, we've had that. Yeah.
And the 800 pages, we're sitting reading these, every single person, Ocean, all of the other people that read the chat logs. And even Tommy called me. He's like, dude, does this guy ever get sexual? I'm like, where are you? And he goes, I'm at like 400 pages in. And I was like, you're almost there. Like page 413. All of a sudden, he went off the deep end. And those are the guys that scare me the most, is the ones that are groomers, because they're more dangerous, in my opinion, than the other guys. But that's just my thoughts.
No,
Yeah, well,
it's very true.
they've done it before, and they're showing that. Like they've learned their craft, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, 1,000%. I agree with Judd. It's these guys that, you know, the chat logs are, you know, 400, 500, 600 pages. They are just that. They're groomers, and they know how to manipulate a child's mind into thinking that they're, you know, this high and mighty, and they're getting them to do all these sexual favors, and that those are the worst ones. These groomers that they form a child into exactly what they want them to be.
Royalty, thank you. Super groomers are the worst. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Even, you know, Mel, who's a seasoned decoy in here, put super groomers are the worst. And in my opinion, I think the same. I agree. All right, let's roll.
Turn around, bitch. I've been waiting. You know who I am? No, sir.
I got the stare down, babe.
He's smiling, the cop. I wonder if the cop is smiling.
I'm gonna apologize. Okay? I'm gonna apologize.
God, I wish we could have talked to the wife.
I don't even know if we could have.
He's never been in cuffs in his life.
Nope. He's probably used to being driven around.
Yeah. Backseat. Just not. Yeah.
Dispatch knew who he was after I gave his name. The dispatcher said, "Whoa, I need to put you on hold." Holy smokes.
Sorry. A little slow on the pause button.
Little
there.
behind the scenes, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the cop caller. That was what the cop caller, and I think this was Cars, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. Yep.
Cars is an amazing person, and thankfully she's a huge asset for the team.
Very huge.
Absolutely.
All the cop callers, but yeah,
yes, all the cop callers. It's crazy to think that they knew who he was. They arrested him, and he's still not charged. It's crazy to think that. They know that people saw this video. They know that there's a lot going on, and a lot of people have seen this. And it's just, it doesn't matter to them. It really doesn't. And that should say a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we go into a clip here, and I want you guys just to see him speaking again on YouTube to, I believe it's another reporter.
So peace to me. Well, you have inner peace, and then you have peace in society and communities, and of course you have to have inner peace. Everybody has to have inner peace in order to project broader peace. So that's one important element. And to me, it's peace is communities, individuals, families, nations being able to live peacefully, tranquilly, with prosperity, with freedom, and to be able to have contentment and joy and happiness. That's peace.
Yeah.
So I guess he was pretty cool with his whole thought process over that 3-month period. He was at peace. It just amazes me, and really, it says a lot about him as a person too, because I am very sure that he knew on some deeper level that that kid was never going to have peace again, and it didn't matter to him.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, and maybe it's a political thing again. You know, you can call him a politician, but he's a bullshitter is really what he is.
I mean, he's a politician.
Yeah. Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that out loud, but you know.
All right. Anybody else? So we
No,
have
it just goes to show it's a facade that he's putting on. You know, he's this good guy. He's doing well, and he thinks he can't be touched, and grooms everybody around him. Like, it's not just his child. You know, he grooms other people around him as a quote politician, or you know, in the level that he's at. This is what he's gotten away with. So he's not only a child predator, he's a predator in and of himself. With anybody that's around him, like he thinks he's better than everything, and better than everybody. And this is why the cops were like, "Oh shit, who is this?" You know, like, or we know who he is, but what are we gonna do? Dispatches. Oh, hey, hold on, we gotta contact somebody else about this. Like, he's using his political powers to manipulate the system, and he's definitely employing whatever he can to get his own way.
His grooming is how he got to where he is, I would assume.
Yeah, he's so used to grooming everybody around him that he felt like he could, use his perfected craft on 13-year-olds.
Right.
And one thing I would like to know is if the cops that made the call to arrest him had a talking to after, like, who you just arrested. Like, I would love to know that answer.
I that's a very valid question.
Right?
It's a very valid question. I would imagine they did. So
Sick.
I'm going to do something that's a little weird, but I mean, since we played that clip in the very beginning and the clip that you just saw, and the video of the entire catch, I want to just play that same clip from the beginning again, just so that you can get an idea now on what you think compared to in the beginning. So if we could all just listen to that clip one more time.
Yeah.
In terms of human trafficking, in terms of corruption, in terms of wildlife trafficking, deforestation, gambling, prostitution, narcotics, all these areas is what you need the most is just strong law enforcement in these areas. So I would say that yeah, in terms of the military, that's separate, but I'm talking about the police because the police plays a main role. I think the military should not be playing a role in domestic issues, okay? In terms of the police, if the police would enforce the laws, then this country could be very, very strong in all those areas. The police is not enforcing this. Okay, so that's a big problem that this country has to get a handle on. The Anti-Corruption Commission in this country is very strong and is most responsible for hundreds of persons going to prison, serving hard time because of corruption. If there's in terms of
so if he went to jail, he's saying if the police did their job, people like him would go to jail.
Yep.
Right.
It's just embarrassing, man.
It's a very rare occasion that I agree with a pedophile, but in this stance, I do. And Mr. Harsha, I hope that everything you just said comes to fruition.
Me too. Me too.
Absolutely.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yep.
We get to hear his own words before and after. It's weird.
Granted, he was talking about Indonesia, but he may as well have been talking about, in this instance, Colorado.
Still talking about predators and being
United States,
held accountable.
you know, and it's a problem. You know, there are people talking about street justice, you know, Butcher Baker. I would love that, but you're making this and arguably an uncivilized society. You know, we shouldn't have to go that route. We shouldn't have to go that route. We should be able to look at this guy, recognize him for what he is, a child predator, and lock him up. And you know what? Let him out when they pass their BS lie detector test or whatever. But if he gets sentenced a second time, they should go to jail for life. You know, if they touch an actual child, they should, you know, I can't say that I disagree with the death penalty states. We can utilize our government by joining together. DAs are elected officials. I think the problem's it's much bigger is right. So you have, you know, we're dealing with the police department, and that was the initial problem. Then we were dealing with detectives. That was the next problem. Then you go from the detectives to the DAs. The DAs are the next problem. And then past that, now you're going into legislators. You're going into, you know, state officials who are writing laws that are ineffective for taking care of this problem. All right. You look at past that, the federal level, the same issues, and you do get harsher sentences, but the sentences still aren't proper. I mean, you know what? These guys need to do serious jail time.
Yeah.
And it should be a minimum mandatory sentence. And unfortunately, a lot of the country has gotten away from minimum mandatory sentencing. But the problem is at every single level. And, you know, we've made leaps and bounds, I think, in certain areas. And you know what? We're not stopping. Can't stop, won't stop. We're going forward. We're going to go ahead and make this problem, you know, we're going to put it into the spotlight as much as we can.
You guys take that shit out of here. Like if somebody's just spamming, just get them out of here. We're not playing that shit. This is not for that. This is not a place for that.
All right. So, sorry it's a shorter video, but you know what? The police showed up and took Stanley off, at least to the police station. And I just saw a comment. Who made it? So, Paul Nokelberg. Ballard and Denny are proof that Preds are undeterrable.
It's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Billy Denny caught, 4 or 5 times, and he's going to trial. And we will follow up with that. But,
and when he gets out, we'll catch him again, you guys.
Yeah.
And I would guess within a couple of weeks. Because that seems to be the way it goes. We caught, there was a guy in Sterling. I can't think of his name, which is a rarity off the top of my head, but we caught him 2 weeks out. And then he was let out by the police by the courts on bond. And 2 days later, he was reaching out to the same decoy. The police picked up the case and he got sentenced to jail time. Yeah. There's so many guys that we've caught multiple times. You look at Stephen Ballard, which was the other case that was mentioned by Paul. Stephen Ballard went to jail for, I think, 25 years.
25 years.
I think he served like 22, and he was out, 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Close to.
Went to another state and tried to meet a 13-year-old boy.
Yep.
And now has moved to another state. He's in Illinois.
He's now in Illinois, and he didn't even serve the full sentence. So he got out after, I believe, 2 years served out of a 3-year sentence and moved
Yeah,
out.
it was just a failure to register. He got lucky. He's a scumbag, but he's out in wherever. Probably going to get caught again. I mean, hopefully he gets caught again. You guys just get rid of him.
I did.
Okay. Good.
Clee had a good question. She said, if you could change one law or policy related to child exploitation, what would it be? For me, minimum mandatory.
Yeah,
100%.
agree.
100%.
On every single child sex crime. Every single one. And, it's sad because we could do whole episodes on politics, but people will actually fall asleep, But there are a lot of politicians that I find it interesting because I sit down with these people and I talk to them. And these people will out and out tell you that bill is never going to pass in this state. And that's sad. That's sad that you have a politician that knows that the bill is a good bill, but it will never pass in the state. And the next question is, why are we electing the same people back in who are not going to pass a bill to protect our kids?
Because they all say they were going to protect them, and then they get in and they don't do shit.
And kids get pushed under the rug.
It's easy to win votes with your mouth, but
yeah, it's crazy. And it's not any one side or the other.
No, it's not. It's
people want to say, oh, well, no, it's the other side. No, it's the other side. No, it's the other side. Bullshit. It's all sides. It's all sides. It's just, it's a crazy thing. And we shouldn't be voting for people until you do your homework. Your vote does matter.
It sure does.
Your vote has to start in your hometown too. You gotta vote for your mayor, your school officials. You gotta vote small. That's where the change is going to happen in your hometown.
Clea asks, what can parents and guardians do to better protect children online? So there's apps like the Bark app. There's the sex offender registry so that you can find out and be educated on who's in your community and educate yourself on voting.
Yeah, and have a open line of communication with your kids and check their devices.
Absolutely.
Absolutely check their devices.
Their right to privacy, in my opinion, for my kids, they don't have it when it comes to their
Nope.
devices, and when they're playing in games online, whatever it is, like I'm checking them
Mm-hmm.
because it's not the kids you have to worry about; it's the groomers, and
Yep.
they think your kids think they're friends with them, and they are predators.
Have honest conversations. There are ways to have conversations about what we do in a PG form to get your children to understand them. My oldest son is 13 and he's well aware of what I do for this organization in a PG manner. And he knows what's right and what's wrong when it comes to how adults speak to him. Just be honest with your kids.
So here's the next question is from Taco Cat. My opinion is they don't want to prosecute because they don't want the property values going down in their county or city. That goes deeper than people really think, in my opinion. So
Maybe I don't know
In
about
a
that.
deeper, dude, in a deeper, like you're gonna throw out a lot of. It doesn't start there though. It doesn't start there, bro. It starts in the courts. You're talking stats and like further way out. Then you'd be saying Broomfield wouldn't even arrest people because their county would go down to shit, right? Like it could have I think it could have something to do with it, but it's not going to be at the base. It's not. That's going to be further in statistics further out.
Agreed.
Here's the devil's advocate or other way of looking at that. I would much rather move into a county or a city that is tough on crime
Yeah.
for these types of crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would rather see an amazing conviction rate with real jail time for every single one of these predators.
All right.
Clea, I think that question's been answered a million times.
Yeah, I think we're getting into too much of like a ask and tell. Like I don't think that's for this, right? Like I think they're good questions, but I think we're getting too much into like I don't know. I feel like we can do that if you guys want to.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. If people want to have an episode, let's put a one in the chat. If you want to have an episode where you guys can just ask questions of the team,
Just a Q&A.
we'll bring in people from all the departments, and you guys can just ask questions.
We can certainly do that, but I think that's for this. Like we should set up for that and have that, especially when it's people want to ask questions. We could certainly do that.
Ones
All
are
right, so-
flying.
Yeah, the ones are moving. So yeah, so
Good deal.
we can definitely set one of those up in the near future. And I will say this: as of January, the new year, we are going to be behind a paywall. And it's unfortunate, but this stuff does cost money. We need to be able to make money so that we can continue catching. So if you could join us on Locals or Spotify, it would really be appreciated. Make sure you follow, like whatever the platform is calling for, set your notifications, and we'll still be doing it every Wednesday night. But until the end of the year, we're just going to keep it, on the regular platforms. Everybody could see it. And, hopefully you guys are enjoying this, I don't have much more on Stanley Harsha.
Yeah. So there's no email. It's thomasfellow73@gmail.com. But you guys, you can certainly email about anything you want to. Anything you want to. I try to read all my emails. I don't get to them all on a timely fashion, but I do try to get to them.
All right. Anybody else got anything about Stanley Harsha? Any more questions?
I just hope he gets fucking blasted on his email.
Just share this
I
out,
mean, his
guys. Share this.
Facebook.
Yeah. Just help us expose them. I mean, that's as of right now, it's the best we can do.
All right. Maxine put in, how do us with iOS devices become members on Locals? You can either open up a browser on your phone and go that route. Don't open up the app first, just the browser. Or you can do it via a computer, and it's very easy to do.
You can also do it through the app. You just have to buy coins through locals, and then you use your coins to member up.
Child of the King, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You've been super awesome. Thank you, as everybody has been. Thank you guys.
The videos will probably be free on Spotify, on locals, but they're going to be delayed. So what you're going to be paying for is the content and the exclusivity of the content.
Yeah, they'll be everywhere eventually. So,
Yes.
Yes. Probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks max.
Something like that, yeah.
You guys, some we can't put on YouTube. Some we cannot put on YouTube. We just got kicked from a YouTube video that wasn't even to do with catches. Some we can't put on YouTube. So whatever we can, we'll try. But the ones we can't, it's just going to be delayed. That's it. Otherwise, they'll be everywhere, but they'll be first on locals. These videos. Catches,
Thank you, team.
no change.
Tammy
Yes,
says she loves
Wolfman.
behind the scenes. Thank you. All right. I think that's it then, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. And
Yeah.
we'll see you next Wednesday. And it is Christmas Eve. We will be doing a show that's a little bit different format, but it's because we wanted to lighten it up a little bit. I think that we're not going to wind up doing shows like this every week because it's just, it's a deep subject, but I think that we can break it up and put up something that's a little bit more fun. So politicians, actors, infamous people think they are above the laws and have the people to cover up their F-ups.
Because they do.
We as
Sure.
common folks hold these people in high esteem. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older, but I don't hold a lot of people in high esteem. You know what? I hold like this group of people in high esteem.
Yeah,
Because
same
you know
here.
what? They're making a real difference. And there's so many people that I do hold in high esteem. Very few of them are politicians. Very few of them are, sports players, or it used to be like that, back in the day. But I think a lot of that is the media, social media has really opened people's eyes to show that politicians, actors, they're all just normal people with money. So why should their opinion matter any more than our opinion? And that's just me speaking. I don't know how the rest of the team feels about that.
No, that's true. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And thank everybody for showing up. It's been a blast for us to do, and we're glad you're enjoying it.
Yes. Thank you all.
Absolutely.
All right. Good night,
Good
everyone.
night, guys.
Good
Have a great night, everybody.
Got you all.
And
Thanks for
if we
showing
don't
up.
see you before, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Get 'em, Tom. Another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. Time to type to pull up at your house and read off your screen name account. Make it come clean, and even make it call your spouse. So why don't you come on out and see what we're talking about? We got you on camera, but first, is anyone in the house? Look, we got your chat logs, we got you by the balls. And when the police pull up, we give them to the law. It's the big homie Tom from Colorado, he on the stroll. Pulling up on bed from Colorado Bed Patrol. Another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one Another one bites the dust. Hey, nah, we not the police. You can take off at any time, but just know when you do that, the cops gonna be on your line. Come on, you bought booze and losing condoms, dude. Even sent dick pics with your face in them too. He came to me, the 12-year-old bundle of joy. Your 51-year-old husband, you desperate boy. And let me guess, this is your first time you wasn't gonna do nothing.
I never did anything like this. I would never do anything like this again.
But that ain't what the chat logs say.
You said you didn't care about the age. You said you had your lube and condoms, and you gave me your address, but you gave me your neighbor's address, by the way.
And then we found you, exposed you on YouTube, and now we clown you.
All the fucking police.
Another one bites the dust. That's not right. And another one bites the dust. Sit still. Another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. What's cake? So you know it got stuck.
I never did all the fucking police. I never did all the fucking police. You didn't do it. No, sir, I know you don't believe me.
You were charged.
I know I was charged because I had got a plea bargain where I said I had oral sex with a 6-year-old boy.
A 6-year-old boy?
Yes, that's what I did. Say.
Smash a like if you think this is fucked up.